Yes, here we are again. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Johnny Knows Football Channel. It's a Chelsea channel discussing all things Chelsea. Uh, there's a lot going on with Chelsea, isn't there? There's a lot going on. Every day we switch on the TV and we hear something else has gone on, another player has been sold. There's a lot going on at Chelsea, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go into it. We're going to dive into it. And this is what today's video is about. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click on this to like the video. And let's get those numbers up. This is a new thing that I'm doing here, trying to bring my Chelsea views to all Chelsea fans. So please support us as we start on this journey, and help get those numbers up. Like the video. Johnny knows everything Chelsea. Let's go. Yeah. So what I want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on at Chelsea? What's going on? We see what's going on. Mason Mount has been sold. That's the latest news that we've had. Mason Mount is gone. Why has Mason Mount left Chelsea? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about potential replacements. What's been talked about in the sort of in the rumor mill. We hear about. We just talk about a number of players to replace to solidify our midfield. We're going to see what's going on there. We're also going to talk about Chelsea. What's going on with Chelsea? What is the board direction looking like? Is this the right direction? Getting all these young players. There's no sort of dished old ways that have led us to winning trophies. What's that about? We're going to discuss that a little bit today. Yes, and that's sort of the main sort of things. Who are the incomings? Who's coming in to Chelsea? We're going to let about 11 or 12 players go. Who is coming? Our midfield is now going to be super light, so we need to sort that problem. So let's dive in. Yeah. So in terms of just to start off on Mason Mount, I mean, personally as a Chelsea fan, I just find it slightly distasteful that he has gone to United. This is my honest view. I think uh, historically we did not sell players to Man United. So what has come over the new ownership and the new direction that they think all of a sudden it's okay to sell our players to Man City, Arsenal, Man United, everyone have taken a pick of our players. And granted, in the past when we have let players go there, they've arguably been players that were coming to the ends of their career, or sort of losing something about their play. But Mason Mount is 24 years old. He's just going to be getting better over the next few years. He's one player of this season at Chelsea. It doesn't make a lot of sense from a sort of development perspective, but then the club perhaps will argue that he wasn't keen to sign a new contract. He wanted huge wages, or he wanted to be paid at the same sort of level as some people that he thought he was at their level in the club. And if he wasn't getting that, then he wasn't going to sign a new contract. I find it slightly distasteful on his part, on both Chelsea and Mason's part. I think Mason shouldn't have been, for a child that got here at 8 years old, should not be looking for the most money out of Chelsea. Should not be treating Chelsea like a club that has to pay him the highest wage. I mean, we know that there are people in history that have played for their clubs. I mean, Steven Gerrard, I don't think, could have earned 3 times as much money as he was at Liverpool during the course of his career. He didn't just sort of give it, I know he almost joined Chelsea, but that was actually a real project. With all due respect, I think perhaps the club should have maybe put something more concrete on the table for him to convince us, the fans, that this wasn't, they didn't underhand tactics to sort of get rid of Mason Mount. And Mason Mount should also not have been looking for the highest wages. He should have settled for 200k. 200k is a pretty good wage for a player. But and all that is said and done, Mason is gone. He's gone to Man United up. People that we don't really care much about as fans, and he's gone. It's going to be distasteful watching him play against us. But this is football, ladies and gentlemen. It is football. Let's get, Kovacic is going to definitely do well at City. He's an excellent player, an excellent holder of the ball. He can run with it. He rarely ever loses the ball when he's on his game. Arguably, he wasn't on his game last season, but neither was any of the squad with all the sort of things that were getting around the club. understood he's gone to City, we've sold him. This would never have happened again a few years back. So these questions, this brings me back to the next question. Where is Todd Bowley and the board taking Chelsea Football Club? This idea that we can get a lot of young, arguably really good young talent, bring them into Chelsea and get them to win trophies, I think is seriously optimistic. I think it has been tried before and it has failed spectacularly. So I have huge concerns about the model of Chelsea. For me, it looks like we're becoming the new Arsenal or the new Brighton or whatever you want to call it. This is not the way to win. For me, obviously, I don't know. Obviously, I'm a spectator. I'm a fan. But I just, I haven't seen it done this way. That you put it together a team of youngsters, and then you go and win. Maybe we're trying to copy the Barcelona team of a few years ago, but even that team hasn't been repeated. It's not a sort of thing that happens over and over again. It's a once in a sort of lifetime occurrence. So the fact that we're trying to mirror that shows that these guys don't know a lot about football. In my opinion, it means that they have a lot to learn, and they will learn those lessons the hard way. Unfortunately, the Chelsea fans will have to suffer for that. It's just the way it appears to me. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And Chelsea go on over the next 2 years and win everything inside, or even just win a couple of trophies like we're used to. We're used to winning year in, year out. Getting the balance right. I mean, to win, you have to bring in, as all the top managers will tell you, you have to bring in top players. Youngsters don't win you trophies. So we have to see what happens on that front. I was obviously what's happened last season. I haven't been too impressed with the board. I think they didn't know, especially Mr. Bowley, who came into the club, had no clue. He was completely clueless, and that's been shown with hindsight now that he was completely clueless. We're just buying things left, right, and center. There was no specific target or structure to anything they were doing. And now they're trying to shift out players that they bought last season. They've shifted out Koulibaly. They're trying to shift out Cucurella, Fofana. It just shows that they're all over the place. They need to really, really sort things out to get out the fans' confidence that this is the right strategy. And we'll see. Angelo joins Chelsea. Angelo joins from Brazil. An 18-year-old prodigy has just joined. It is my opinion that he's been purchased to play backup to one of the wingers, and I just think this is just negligent. He's a spectacular talent, but to be thinking that this is a way to compete with the clubs in England, the Man Cities, the Liverpools, it's just misguided. So let's see how that goes. And I do not want to be pessimistic today. I just want to be realistic and practical with what we're doing. So let's fingers crossed. I love my club. I've already upgraded my membership for the coming season. I will be going to games. I mean, granted that last season I didn't go to many games because it was just horrible, wasn't it? We could hardly win a game, so it was hard to go to the games. But I'm a bit more positive this year. I will be visiting Stamford Bridge quite as much as I can, and hopefully we can actually win games that enables me to take my little ones with me. Yeah, so that's it about Mount. In terms of replacements, now there's been a lot of talk about who's coming into Chelsea to replace the players that we letting go. So I suppose the first thing is to think about the areas where we're light in the squad. When I look at that, I look at the defense and I think we're covered in the central defense, unless we sell, sort of Fofana. I think we've got Fofana, we've got Silva there, we've got we've got who else have we got in defense? We've got Fofana, Silva. Can't remember. Who else? We've got Colwell. Colwell is joining as well. So I think we're covered. On the right hand side, we've got James and Gusto. Left hand side, we've got Chilwell and Cucurella. We've got Lewis Hull covering that area. Ian Matson potentially. In the middle of the park, I think is where the lightness really happens. Where we have at the moment we've sold everyone, and all we have left is who do we have in the middle of the park? Not many people, but we're looking to bring Caicedo, and I think that's one option that covers that central defensive midfield area. But I think we need one or two others in addition to Caicedo. So there's been talk of Romeo Lavia at Southampton and Amadou Onana, who I'm not really so convinced about. I mean, they've both got relegated in the last season. So for that to be sort of our target market, it's slightly concerned. But I have watched quite a bit of Romeo Lavia, and he's very exciting on the ball. He's a talent, young talent, but a talent, so he can be developed. But I don't think these guys are going to come in and win you trophies. So Chelsea have to think about what we're doing in that regard. We definitely need cover in the middle of the park. So yeah, I would say definitely Lavia as well as Caicedo and possibly Onana as well, or somebody else that's maybe from a different country, to come and join in. We also need to replace Mount Havertz, one of those two. We've lost quite a lot of numbers in that department. I don't think Angelo is the answer, so I think we'd have to bring in, Vega, the stock of Gabi Vega at Celta Vigo. He's got a 34 million pound clause, so that might get triggered at any point, and we'll have some numbers. But again, he's 21 years old. He's had one good season in Spain under his belt. There's no guarantees here. This is, just sort of cherry picking talent and hoping that you have a manager that puts them together. There's no guarantees. So yeah. Up front we've got, and now I think Nicholas Jackson has to be confirmed, but it's pretty much a done deal. We've got Here We Go and that from Fabrizio Romano. We've also got Amanda Broja, who's coming back from a serious injury. I think it was a cruciate ligament injury. So there's no certainty as to what form he will return in. So I think we're lacking in that department. We certainly need to strengthen. I've heard rumors in the last few days that Mbappe was an option, and we're going to offer PSG 120 million euros plus two players for Mbappe. Oh my word, if that were to happen, I will be such a happy Chelsea boy. But I realistically don't see that happening. I know he wants to leave Paris Saint-Germain. I think the most likely destination for him is Real Madrid, especially as they didn't buy Kai Havertz, or dropped that interest. There's also talk about Vlahovic at Juventus and some sort of swap deal with Lukaku, and also Lautaro Martinez at Inter Milan. Those are the options if we were to get a big name striker that we'll be looking at. So yeah, I think for me, I would definitely get one top striker in, because in my experience, you need these sorts of players to win things. You need that experience, a clinical Drogba type who gets one chance in the game in the final and sticks it in the back of the net. You don't need 3 or 4 chances. You can't. I mean, you can't. That's what a big game players do. Because big games are big games. We've seen them before. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts at the moment. Um, um, we look forward to the season. We'll see what happens with the new technical team and their purchases. We have had outgoings. Let's see what they bring in. There's a lot of work to be done. Let's hope we get it right. Let's hope we get it right. There's potential for mistakes, and we don't want to go down that route of Chelsea becoming the new Arsenal, like whoever we used to make fun of them a couple of years ago even. So yeah. But yeah, so that's my view today. And just before I end, I would like to give a quick background of me. Why am I here? I mean, I'm a Chelsea fan. I've been a Chelsea fan for a long time. Think about 1995, 96, when we had Vialli and with Gullit, Di Matteo, and I think one of the main reasons why I started following Chelsea was was Celestin Babayaro. He comes from sort of the same sort of area parts that I do, so it was important for me at the time to have to be able to relate to that. And then obviously Chelsea had an array of stars at the time that were coming into force. So I started to follow Zola was particularly of interest. I loved watching Zola play, and this is how I've followed Chelsea since. I think 6 or 7 years after I started supporting the club in 2003. Roman Abramovich came through, and our history has changed forever, unrecognizably since then. And we're here in 2023, a new chapter about to be defined. Let's stick at it, Chelsea fans. Let's stay strong. I know it doesn't seem very sort of smooth at the moment. The Bowleys and the Americans are taking us sort of the long, hard route to get to the finishing point, but we'll be here, Chelsea. So that's it. Again, before I leave, I'd just like to say subscribe to the channel, like the video, look after yourselves. Salute to the next video.